Today we're going to make some pickled hot peppers. In our garden, we recently harvested some cayenne peppers, some poblanos, and some bell peppers. You typically do not put bell peppers in with your pickled hot peppers, but these cayenne peppers are wicked. So I thought that I would tone it down a little bit with some bell pepper. We cut the cayenne peppers and the poblano peppers in half. We scraped out the seeds and the ribs. The seeds and the ribs contain most of the capsaicin, which is the chemical compound that makes hot peppers hot. We then cut the peppers into edible sized pieces. So with these are pretty hot. I'm gonna cut these into thirds. With the poblano, I wanna cut it into strips, a little thicker than a julienne, and we're gonna cut these in thirds as well. What's important here, we want to cut them approximately the same size, so that as they marinate, some don't get soggy as the other ones are crunchy. This is a yellow bell pepper. I held it up because I want to show properly how to clean the pepper. Cut the pepper in half from the North Pole to the South Pole. Take off the stem and the ribs. Then you're going to bang out the seeds. The reason I'm doing this is because quite often on TV, when you see a chef prepare a recipe, they remove this entire crown and sometimes the bottom of the pepper just so that they can have even julienne strips. I just want to illustrate here is that we use the entire pepper except for the seeds and the ribs. So with this, we're going to cut thin strips. We're going to cut these into quarters. So I'll cut it in half first, cut each half in half. Now that the peppers are all mixed, I do want to mention that anytime I work with hot peppers, I wear gloves because the capsaicin that's located inside the hot peppers gets on your fingers, and even if you scrub your fingers, it could be very painful, not only to your fingers, but if you rub your eye, it'll cause a dangerous situation. Let's get our mise en place for the marinade. Now what we're going to do is we need to bring our marinade to a boil. So let's talk about our mise en place. We have 2 cups of white vinegar. We have 1 cup of water. We have 2 tablespoons of sea salt. We have about a teaspoon and a half of crushed red pepper flake. And we have about a teaspoon of whole black peppercorns. We're going to bring this to a boil just long enough for the salt to dissolve, and then I'll show you the next step. Okay, the vinegar, water, and spices have come to a boil. Now we're ready to pickle our peppers. Have all the peppers mixed in the bowl. Toss in the raw garlic. We're going to pour the hot mixture over the top, including the peppercorns and the red pepper flakes. Now that the peppers are in with the hot vinegar, you need to weigh them down so they all marinate equally. And you need to weigh it down with something. You could use a tin of tomatoes or beans or something. I'm going to use this lid. I'm going to time this. Anytime you pickle peppers, depending on the size, you can leave them in that hot brine anywhere from 10 to 30 minutes. These are pretty small peppers. I'm going to time it out at 10 minutes and then we'll get them in jars. The peppers have had an opportunity to cool down, as well as the vinegar brine that we made. So now you have 2 choices. You could take the brine, pour it back in, and completely cover the peppers. It's important that the peppers stay covered all the time for them to stay fresh. Now this could stay in your refrigerator for a month as you eat them, but we won't be canning these, so they do have to stay in the refrigerator. The second option is to fill your jar of peppers up with oil. You don't want to use extra virgin olive oil. You can use just a simple canola or vegetable oil because it's going to be expensive. However, when you're done with the peppers, you can use that oil that the peppers were in to dip bread in or to cook with. Now, a couple of last things. You want to use a back of a spoon or a knife to poke down and make sure you get all the air bubbles out. And overfill again. And the second thing I'd like to mention is an option for you when you're using the peppercorns and the pepper seeds is to wrap them in cheesecloth, so when you're done, you can pull the cheesecloth out. The only issue you have is when you eat these peppers now is you have to make sure that you're not biting down on a peppercorn. Enjoy your hot peppers. Here's an added bonus to pickling your own peppers. As you saw in the video, we saved the seeds, and I took an old egg carton, took some potting soil that is friendly to growing vegetables, and I mixed it with some ground coffee that had already been brewed. Cut these apart so they're easier to cut later. Filled them with the potting soil. I'm going to take a spoon and I'm going to make some little holes in these. And I'm going to show you what we're going to do. I'm going to take no more than 2 or 3 seeds. You don't want to overcrowd a pod. And these are from our hot peppers. And we're going to put 2 or 3 seeds in each hole. I have too many seeds in some of these, so I'll take that out. If there's too many seeds, they'll be fighting for space as they start to grow. I'm going to push this back in. I'm going to sprinkle a little dirt on these on top, a little potting soil. What you're going to do now is you're going to get something that is waterproof, some type of plastic tub that you can put this in, and you're going to water these regularly. And the most important thing is they have to be at a sunny spot in your house. It needs a lot of sun, a lot of water. As they start to sprout, summer will be here. You can cut these apart and you could put these in your raised bed or in your garden. And within several months, you'll have some pepper plants to make your own hot pickled peppers.